Hello everyone, welcome back to AeroHub and welcome to the series of lectures in flight mechanics. And in this lecture we will see more about drag, and we will see what are the types of drag acting on an aircraft, and also we will see how to minimize this type of drag. And you are aware that drag is nothing but an aerodynamic force which resists the motion of the aircraft while it is operating in air. And you can see the figure here, and I have drawn lift, drag, thrust and weight. These are the forces acting on an aircraft in level flight or in any flight. And you can see that lift and drag, these are two aerodynamic forces, and these two forces will be acting at a point called center of pressure. And we will be studying something called aerodynamic center. And when the force is acting on aerodynamic center, there will be a moment also acting at the aerodynamic center. Okay, and the thrust and weight will be acting at the CG of the airplane or aircraft. And we are discussing about different types of drag. Basically, for an aircraft, there are two types of drag. First one is called parasite drag. It is also called zero lift drag and also called profile drag. Okay, and this drag is due to there is no lift, while the drag produced due to no lift is called zero lift drag or profile drag or parasite drag. Okay, and induced drag, it is also called drag due to lift. Okay, drag due to lift. And by hearing the name, you can imagine that, you can understand that this drag is mainly due to the production of lift. Okay, so when you are increasing the lift, drag also will be increased. Okay, similarly this drag is mainly due to the production of lift. Okay, so we will be discussing about parasite drag and induced drag and what are the causes of this drag, and we will see how this drag can be reduced as a aircraft designer. Okay, so total drag is given by capital D is equal to half rho V square S into CD, where rho is the density, V is the velocity, S is the wing area, and CD is nothing but coefficient of drag. And this CD is equal to CD naught plus CDI. Okay, I put this equation as equation number 1, and this is equation number 2. You can see drag coefficient is equal to CD naught plus CDI, where CD naught is nothing but the coefficient of drag due to zero lift drag, and CDI is nothing but induced drag coefficient. I repeat, CD naught is nothing but coefficient of drag due to zero lift, and CDI is nothing but induced drag coefficient. Now we will see more about parasite drag. As I told earlier, parasite drag or profile drag or zero lift drag is nothing but the element of the total drag which is not directly contributed due to the procurement of lift. Okay, the element of total drag which is not directly attributed to the procurement of lift. Okay, and this parasite drag having different types. First one is called skin friction drag, second one is called foam drag or pressure drag, and third one is called interference drag. I repeat, there are three types of profile drag. First one is surface friction or skin friction drag, second one is called foam or pressure drag, and the last one is called interference drag. We will see each of this type now. First one is surface friction drag or skin friction drag. As the name suggests, this particular type of drag is mainly created by the boundary layer. Okay, you can see this is caused by a boundary layer of almost static air that attached to the skin of the aircraft. Okay, what is boundary layer? Boundary layer is nothing but, you can see an airfoil here. I will draw an airfoil, and if air is flowing in this manner. Okay, and the velocity here will be capital V, and you can see the velocity at this position is called free stream velocity. Okay, and at the surface the velocity will be less than 99%, less than 99% of free stream velocity. Can you understand? See, we have a velocity of air which is approaching the airfoil. Okay, that is called free stream velocity. At the surface of the airfoil or aircraft structure or anything, the velocity, there will be a part of airflow. It's a boundary layer is nothing but a part of airflow. It's a part of airflow in which velocity is less than 99% of the free stream velocity. That is called the boundary layer, and the surface friction drag is mainly due to the boundary layer, and the skin friction drag is determined by, or the value of the skin friction drag depends upon the total surface area. Is not determined by, depends upon the total surface area of the aircraft as well as the viscosity of air. Okay, now we will see about how the boundary layer separation is happening, and we will see more about the formation of reversed flow, or it is called wakes. Okay, how the flow is getting separated from the surface of an airfoil. You can see this is the airfoil structure, and you can see in this diagram, this is the velocity profile. Okay, so velocity at the surface of the airfoil V will be equal to 0, and this is called no slip condition. Okay, the velocity at the surface of the airfoil is 0, and this is called no slip condition. And as you approach from the surface of the airfoil towards the free stream, the velocity will be increasing. Okay, so there will be a point, this is nothing but the laminar flow. So there will be a point on the surface of the airfoil where the laminar flow will be changing to turbulent flow. That point is called transition point. Here you can see here, this is laminar flow. Here the flow becomes turbulent, and this point is called transition point, and this point is called transition point. The point at which the laminar flow turn to a turbulent flow is called transition point. Beyond the beyond transition point, at this position there will be a point called separation point, and the flow will be reversed here. Okay, the flow will be, you can see the flow will be, this is flowing in this direction, the flow will be flowing in the, at this point the flow will be flowing in the reverse direction. That's called reversed flow. Finally, the entire airflow or boundary layer will be getting separated, and this is nothing but wake formation. Wake formation, or it is also called reversed flow. Okay, so what is the mechanism behind that? You can see here there will be separation here, because mainly what happens here means the pressure at this point, okay, pressure here on this area will be very high. Okay, so the pressure become very high in such a way that velocity becomes very low. Okay, we can see here kinetic energy is equal to half mv square. Okay, here what happens means the pressure of this region is becoming high in such a way that the velocity will be going low. Okay, and normally what happens means when the pressure is increasing, velocity will be getting decreased, and this causes the kinetic energy to decrease. Okay, and this, since the kinetic energy is decreasing, the boundary layer does not have sufficient energy to get attached to the surface, and the flow become reversed, and the boundary layer will be becoming detached from the surface. Okay, repeat. Since the pressure is increased, and when the pressure is increasing, the kinetic energy will be getting decreased. Okay, due to the decreasing of kinetic energy, the flow which is attached to the surface will not have sufficient energy, and finally it will be getting, and the boundary layer will be getting detached. Okay, and you have to understand about the pressure value here, and you are aware that there is something called stagnation point. Stagnation point is a point at which the velocity is 0 for a aerodynamic surface. Okay, and the value of coefficient of pressure Cp will be 1 for stagnation point. Okay, this all thing you have to understand, and basically the boundary layer separation is mainly due to adverse pressure gradient. Okay, so the boundary layer separation is mainly due to adverse pressure gradient, and this adverse pressure gradient is nothing but there will be an increasing pressure in the aft region of the airfoil section. Due to increasing pressure, there will be decrease in kinetic energy. Due to the decreasing in energy of the boundary layer, the boundary layer will be getting detached from the surface of the airfoil. Okay, this is called as skin friction drag, and also we discussed about the boundary layer separation. Okay, now the next drag is called pressure drag. It is also called foam drag. It is nothing but it is mainly related to the shape of the aircraft and is proportional to the area and depends upon separation point of the flow. Okay, it is one of the important point. It mainly depends upon the separation point of the airflow. Okay, you can see here this is a point called stagnation point, and this point is called separation point. Okay, so there will be decreasing pressure experienced between stagnation point on the leading edge of airfoil and separation point on the boundary layer, and this causes a drag, and this drag is called the pressure drag. Okay, so there will be a pressure acting on the stagnation point, and there will be a pressure on this separation point, and the difference in pressure between stagnation point and separation point is called pressure drag. Okay, and the last drag is called interference drag, and this is the type of drag in profile drag. Okay, as the name suggests, you are aware that for an aircraft there will be different flow field. Okay, for example, I will draw here. This is an aircraft front view. Okay, so this is the wing and this is the fuselage. Okay, so there will be mixing of flow field between fuselage as well as wing. You can imagine that at the junction of the wing and fuselage, there will be mixing of airflow of the fuselage as well as the wing, and this causes a drag. Okay, this is actually due to the mixing of boundary layers of different components of the aircraft. Okay, for example, the main example is for fuselage and junction at the fuselage and the wing. Okay, and now we will see how to reduce this parasite drag, okay, or profile drag. As an aircraft designer, it is very important to know about how to reduce the drag. Okay, our main function or main aim of an aircraft designer is to reduce the drag, and the first method is design improvement. Okay, we will include BLC, that is nothing but boundary layer control. BLC is nothing but boundary layer control. We can use leading edge slat and slot as well as vortex generators to reduce the boundary layer separation and to reduce the skin friction drag. Okay, we will use boundary layer control methods to reduce the skin friction drag. Okay, how this is reducing the skin friction drag means this types of design improvement will increase the kinetic energy, or this will energize the flow. Okay, and thus this will improve or reduces the skin friction drag. Okay, and next method is by streamlining. Streamlining means proper shape. This will reduce the pressure drag. polishing the surface of the aircraft before flight. This will reduce the skin friction and pressure drag. Providing fillets and fairings at the junction. Okay, for example, this is the fuselage. Okay, and at the junction of fuselage and the wing, we'll provide certain fillet like this, something like this. Okay, this is called fillet, and this will reduces the interference drag. Okay, the main drag is skin friction drag. We have to do some design improvement, and streamlining is always done in aircraft maintenance as well as for while manufacturing the aircraft. Okay, so we have discussed about zero lift drag, or which is also called a profile drag. Now we will discuss about one of the important drag, that is called induced drag. It's also called a vortex drag. Vortex drag. Okay, and this is a lift dependent drag, and this particular drag is mainly due to the pressure difference below the wing and over the wing. Okay, especially the lifting surfaces. No, we can't say always airfoil. It is the result of pressure difference over and under a lifting airfoil. Okay, and this type of drag mainly depends upon, there are two factors. One factor is variable factor, second one is not variable, that is fixed factor. CL, that is the coefficient of lift, velocity, mass of the airplane. These three are the variable factors. CL is nothing but the coefficient of lift, and it is nothing but how effective a airfoil can generate a lift. That is called CL. Okay, how effective an airfoil can generate the lift. That is called the coefficient of lift. And velocity, you are aware, mass of the airplane will decrease while in the flight because of the consumption of fuel. Okay, then we have two fixed factors. One is the planform, second one is the aspect ratio. Planform is nothing but the shape of the wing. Okay, aspect ratio is nothing but ratio of span to chord, or B square by S. B is the wingspan and S is the wing area. Okay, and this is B by C for rectangular wing. Okay, now we will see how this induced drag is created and how we can reduce the effect of induced drag. Now we will discuss how the induced drag is formed. As you are aware that below the wing there will be high pressure and above the wing there will be low pressure. Okay, as the airfoil moves through the air due to pressure difference, this causes air to flow from underside high pressure area to the upper side low pressure area. And you are aware that there will be high pressure below the wing or airfoil and low pressure on the upper surface. Okay. This will create something called spillage. Okay, that is, air will spill from lower surface to upper surface. Okay, that is, for upper surface there will be low pressure and lower surface there will be high pressure, and there will be spillage of air from lower surface to upper surface, and this is called spillage. I repeat, there will be the air from the lower surface will flow to the upper surface due to the pressure difference, because there will be high pressure below at the underside of the wing and low pressure at the upper side of the wing. Okay, this spillage will result in span wise flow. Okay, very important, span wise flow. Imagine this is a wing. Span wise flow in the sense in this direction. Okay, either maybe from root to tip or tip to root. Okay, you can't say the direction, this in this direction. Okay, in the span direction of the wing. Okay, in this direction. Okay, and one of the important factor which created the vortex drag or induced drag is this span wise flow. Okay, this span wise flow is having different direction at the lower surface of the wing and upper surface of the wing. Okay, you are aware that at the lower surface of the wing we have high pressure, so the span wise flow will be from wing root to wing tip. Okay, and for the span wise flow of the upper surface where the pressure is less, when compared to the lower surface. The span-wise flow is from wing tip to wing root. Okay, so in the upper surface, it will be from wing tip to wing root. I will make this in this direction. This will be from wing tip to, this is tip, and this one is the root. Okay, and the lower surface will be from wing root to wing tip. Okay, and you can see the airflow at any point along the trailing edge of the wing leaves the upper surface traveling in a different direction to the air leaving the lower surface. And this is the leading edge of the wing, this is the trailing edge of the wing, and you can see this one, this is in blue color, this is upper flow, and which is in green color, this is a lower flow. Okay, and you have to understand that the direction of flow at the upper surface and the lower surface of the span-wise flow is different. Okay, the air leaving at the trailing edge on the upper surface, you can see here this airflow, this is flowing from leading edge to trailing edge in different direction when comparing to the lower surface, and this combines at the trailing edge to form the vortex. Okay, I repeat once more. The air at any point along the trailing edge of the wing leaves the upper surface traveling in a different direction to the air leaving at the lower surface of the wing. Okay, this is mainly due to the difference in direction of the span-wise flow. Okay, and this difference in direction of span-wise flow will create the vortex at the trailing edge. Okay, and the size of the vortex increases from root to tip. Okay, because there will be difference in the pressure from root to the tip. Okay, and there will be large amount of vortex formation at the tip of the wing. Okay, this is the reason behind creation of vortex drag. Okay, this due to the vortices, this is called vortices, there will be induced drag. Okay, then CDI is equal to CL square by pi A into E, where A is the aspect ratio, E is nothing but efficiency factor, and E will be equal to 1 when we have a elliptical lift distribution. Okay, one of the important criteria to reduce the induced drag is elliptical lift distribution, and also we can use something called winglets. You can search in the web about winglets. By using the winglets, we can reduce the amount of vortex formation. Okay, and by using a tapered wing, at a taper ratio of 0.4, we can achieve elliptical lift distribution. Okay, that's why most of the wings nowadays using in commercial aircraft are tapered. Okay, and this is how we are reducing the different types of drag, and we also learned about different types of drag acting on aircraft as well as how to reduce them. Okay, so thank you for listening in this lecture. Take care.